Epic. What's my quality at? Show me the source. Nice. Bring me to the source of the crime. I want to see and I want to see it now. All right. Let's get this motor in already. My hand has been like on and off working. Working is the wrong word. Good morning, Orville. Welcome. Yeah, my hand has been just having pains here and there, and I know why. It's because I use my hand to do my job, and so I'm trying to be very careful with it. And there are some days where like my hand feels totally fine, and then there's like others where I guess like work just like catches up to me. So I've been kind of making an effort to stay ahead of it, right? I do like hand stretches all the time. I got this brace like a long while back, like a few years ago, I think. And I've had a few other braces over the years. This one fell on the goddamn floor, but there's like a more basic looking hand brace that would go on the opposite hip. Excuse me. It would go on like the opposite hand. And I did have one of these for this hand, but it got so worn out and crap that I just had to throw it out. And this one, honestly, like, I like the 3 straps on it, the little, like, extra security for my little wrist. Though recently, I had to go and switch out compression gloves. These compression gloves it's honestly amazing, like, how helpful they really are. I didn't even know what they were until about a year into working on this comic project that I had been doing for a client that thankfully that one is like all done now, and that honestly was a really, really useful time in my life because I learned a lot about being an artist, one of which being compression gloves. I remembered I was like really struggling to meet a deadline because my hand fucking hurt, and even the client was like, you know, hey, I'm sorry your hand hurts, but like, how long are you going to be on break? I don't even blame the client, like, at all. They were as compassionate as they could be, but I was like really, really lagging because no matter what, I would have to take like extremely long breaks in between my work, because I just kept wearing myself out. Compression gloves, though, very, very helpful in kind of just keeping your muscles a little more relaxed and put together. I don't fully understand how compression gloves work. Looks nice. Thank you. Yeah, I don't fully know how compression gloves, excuse me, work. But what I do know is that they like keep your muscles like kind of close together. They squeeze them so that they're kind of like settled in place, which can help them to relax. Whereas like if your hands just kind of hanging free and your muscles are tired, it's like uncomfortable for them, pretty much. That's like my most basic understanding. It's the same thing that you would do if you were like injured and you had like, I don't know, well, this is maybe not like a great example, but like when you have a wound and you like want to keep that shut, it's because like you have like your body's falling apart and you're trying to like hold yourself together, not have blood come out of you. Or you know what? You know what's probably a better example is when you have like a broken leg or something. You want to keep your leg like stable, so you put it in a cast. You know, it keeps everything like put together in one place. You're not about to like hit any more injuries. And then maybe someday that leg will work again, but maybe not. Regardless, yeah, no, back at it with this particular comic. I worked on it like a little while ago. In fact, actually, I think my last drawing stream I was working on it as well. This is a comic that I intended, I believe I began working on it back in, oh god, I want to say October. I think it was September, though. Like, I began this comic kind of a while ago, TBH. And, like, I'm really happy with how it's come out, like, in the sketches. But, yeah, I had to put, like, everything on hold. Because, what was it? At the start of November, just to, you know, keep it simple, basically, I had a death in the family. It's okay now. It's all right. It's been, like, you know, several months, and the holidays happened as well. But of course, I had to, like, deal with that in the moment. And that was also part of the reason why I wasn't streaming or doing, like, anything. It's just I had, like, some big family stuff that I had to take care of. And so once that was all dealt with and over, I looked up and I was like, oh my god, it's January. And so now I need to kind of hit the ground running and get back to work. That being said, I'm like so much more free to stream, whereas before with this distinct family member, they were very, very sick, and so I would have to drop everything, like, all the time and, like, drive over to their house in order to help them with, like, some, like, menial task or something. It was a sad state of affairs. I won't mince words or anything. And that's what comes with having a terminal illness. But I still did it. I was, like, dedicated, and we kind of knew where all this was going inevitably. So it was just a matter of, like, being there and being supportive. And I think we were. You know, I think that, you know, despite all the trouble that comes from, like, a caretaker role, I think pretty much everybody involved did a real good job. And we knew that this was going to come and pass, so now that it has, everyone is kind of carrying on with their lives. And quite frankly, it sounds very cruel, but I'm glad that I now have time to myself, because I certainly did not for a long time. So yeah, so basically that's, in case anybody was, I don't know, curious why it is I'm suddenly just streaming a lot more, whereas before my streams were very, very sparse. It's that, basically. Basically for the last, like, 4 years even, I have been, no, still at work, just passing by to say hi. Hi, Con. I hope work goes well. Last night, I was, like, working kind of late. Not super bad. Like, I got home at, like, midnight. But I'm used to working, like, in the morning. So when I had, like, a midnight shift at this one place that I do part-time work, I was, like, so exhausted. The people walking around me were all just like, I love this. I work at night and I'm gonna go home and, like, do crack or something. Like, I'm a night owl and I was, like, just wandering like a statue, just like, yeah, just give me work, just give me tasks, and then I'm gonna go find a piece of ground to go die on temporarily. But yeah, good luck with your work, Con. Hope that it isn't, like, too crazy. And preemptive apology to anybody that misses my stream because they're at work. I know I'm kind of streaming at like sort of a weird time. In the past, like I think maybe a year ago, I was doing a lot of morning streams. And those morning streams had like a varying amount of viewers, but I love any amount of viewership, TBH. But as of late, I've been doing more streams in like the evenings, and I think even later today I'm going to do another stream where I game some more because I'm in a real gamer mood. And those two audiences, the evening and the night, they kind of clash sometimes, so... I mean, can't be helped. Unless I made a more, like, strict schedule, which, you know, I could probably do. I'm a little more in control of my schedule these days. I certainly wasn't for the past 4 years. So for the past couple days now, I have been really inspired as of late to work on changing my entire setup, which may affect my streams, and maybe it won't. Who knows? But I think I really will actually do it. I'm thinking of switching to Linux, finally. There's been a lot of shit going down with Microsoft, especially with the rise of that, like, weirdo AI scanning your files on Windows 11, which is not, like, I don't even have Windows 11. I've been on 10 for years, and I'm not about to, like, upgrade or anything like that. But what concerns me is the technology, Windows technology changing as the years go by, and eventually I'll be forced to upgrade to Windows 11 just so that I can get certain programs to run. And I know that, like, some people will say, like, well, no. Like, there's like workarounds. There's like compatibility softwares or tricks or drivers that you can install. Like, there's genuinely people out there that have, like, Windows XP machines that have support for most, like, modern day programs. They have, like, I don't know how to describe it exactly, but it's sort of like emulation software that helps to, even though the operating system is XP, the programs designed for, like, Windows 10, modern machines, whatever, will emulate that for you. And they work. And, you know, it's all, like, community based. And it's super cool if, for whatever reason, people are working with a Windows XP machine and they really, really need to, like, keep up with modern day technology. That's sick, but Linux also does that. And Linux is the type of thing I am constantly infatuated with anyways. The idea of something like purely community-based. I love community-based software, community-based like events. I love my community, and I think people are just, like, so damn cool. And I sure as shit trust them a lot more than snake-ass Microsoft. I got friends who will defend Microsoft till the cows come home. My buddy Mario, he loves it. Look, I'm not saying anything about, like, you know, their video games or whatever. But the software, the company, all of that is incredibly suspicious. And I don't need to go into, like, detail stories, whatever, just to, like, prove my point. Main thing is, this is a very, like, personal thing to me. I want to get away from that. I just want to avoid it. If anything bad happens with Microsoft, I want to feel like I'm just not a part of that. You know, I don't need to care. Over the past couple of years, I've been getting away from Adobe products. I don't think I use a single one now. I have Clip Studio Paint. I have this photo editor, I believe it was called like Affinity. I very recently got that one. But I was also using Photopea for a while, which is a web browser with Photoshop tools on it. And it's totally open source and lovely. And I've been wanting to support that project for a long time. Or want to is the wrong word. I have been supporting that project for a long time. I switched to DaVinci Resolve, I think a year ago or so. And I even made a couple of the blind dubs on DaVinci Resolve, which was part of the reason that there was like this weird drought between blind dubs. I mean, I don't even make the blind dubs now, but I had like this really nice schedule of like, make a blind dub, put it out, make a blind dub, put it out. And then I had like an entire month or so where there was just like nothing, and I kind of like lost my momentum. That's because I made the big jump to DaVinci Resolve. Because I just wasn't used to it. I really wasn't. The tools are like completely different. The thing is though, and I imagine that's going to be the same problem I'm going to have once I switch to Linux, is that so much stuff is just going to be like so different. I still want to do it because I think it's going to pay off in the long run. I do like DaVinci Resolve a great deal. And the logic behind it is like way, way different. But once you get a handle on it, it's capable of like so much. So much so that it is totally a replacement for Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects. 100%. All of this, and perhaps there may be some not tuned in right now, but perhaps watching the VOD or whatever. There may be some that are hearing this and are like, this sounds like oh too familiar. I did get very inspired by a recent video by James Lee. Lovely animator and artist. He does impeccable work, and I highly recommend him. He usually makes like very grim, dystopian type content, but for what I feel is the first time ever, he made a very like straightforward and to the point, extremely useful and very like hopeful video talking about all of your options for leaving Microsoft and Adobe products in favor of a more user-based workflow, you know, not one that is a lot more, you know, corporate centric, let's say. And I love that. I love it so much. Again, that's just that, you know, community support type deal that I love to see it. I love it, you know. But I haven't made like the big plunge yet. I would just say like go look up James Lee's latest video about it, because he gives like a whole list of like alternative programs and whatnot. He has a whole bit about DaVinci Resolve as well. But my main plan is I'm going to start with Linux Mint, because it's the closest visually to Windows, and just see if it's gonna, and just see how things go from there. My brother, years and years ago, installed Ubuntu on his own personal computer back when we both, like, you know, lived with our parents. And I remember him telling me, like, you know, dude, this is the future. You gotta fucking get on this. He gave up on Ubuntu very quickly. Because admittedly, it is, like, really annoying. And at the time, I think he was, like, I don't know, in middle school or something. And he's not really, like, he's a computer guy for sure, but I don't think he wanted to deal with, with like learning Linux when he didn't have to. And when I was telling him that I've been thinking of switching to Linux, he was like, no, don't do it, man. It's gonna be like so difficult. And I'm like, I think I'll be fine. I think I'll be fine. We're drawing booby ladies. Let's go. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. This is a comic I'm making for a client. Talking about switching to Linux and drawing boobies. This is what you subscribe for. Hold on a sec. Is there a burglar in my house? That was weird. Sorry, I stood up for a sec. I heard some banging, and I was like, literally nobody is in the house right now. That's a little weird. I went out, and I noticed my cat was gone. Like, I was looking around, like, where the... Wait a minute, hold on. No. This place is not very big. Like, if I don't see him immediately, that's kind of weird. So I was calling for him, and then I heard some, like, more banging. He was, like, basically, like, just trapped in a closet. He was making, like, no noise. He just, like, sat... He realized he was trapped, I guess, and then just fell asleep. Then I opened it up, and he just kind of, like, fell out, like, oh, hello. And I gave him some pets, and he was so fucking cold, too. Oh, pisses me off. Pisses me off. He has no self-preservation. None at all. Well, anyways, back to it. Oh, just in time as I got home. Yeah. Welcome. Working on this. I think as far as like line art is concerned, I have this page and one more. And these ones have like the full body shots. So it takes like a little bit of time, but not too crazy. I'm thinking like I may get this whole spread right here. Oh, excuse me. This whole spread right here done in this stream, perhaps. But yeah, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Is it Christmas music? I just looked up like royalty-free jazzy music, and I swear to God, I just heard a da 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 da. Oh no, that would be Happy Birthday, isn't it? Da 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 da. Yeah, this is happy birthday. What the fuck? I mean, I guess it's royalty free. And many more on channel 4, and a big fat lady on channel 80. And Scooby Doo. Did you ever do that? Like, like make the do the parodies, or the not necessarily parodies, but like the okay, we've sung Happy Birthday, now let's sing like the mysterious verse 2. Where you'd go through the whole song, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, da, 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 happy birthday to you. And then, like, who invented that, like, second half of, like, and many more on channel 4, and a big fat lady on channel 80, and Scooby-Doo on channel 2, and then after that, I don't even know what it is, but there is more song. Because I remember, like, adults when I was a child singing it. The hell is that shit? Is that, like, a fucking Seinfeld joke or something I don't understand? Because growing up, I would hear that from adults like all the time, and I genuinely did feel like kind of confused, like I was missing a joke or something. Nah, you know, I do not care for this hand. Most interesting video I've seen all day. I watched a video of someone using a virtual machine and seeing how many viruses you can find by clicking sketchy. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, well, that sounds about right. Something I found like especially crazy about those like virus links is I believe it was a H Bomber Guy video, he talked about it, where he was saying, like, in fact, I think he made reference to a study that went down, an anthropological study of like how come you still see stuff like, you know, the scams of I'm a Nigerian prince and I want to like give you a shitload of money, just give me your credit card information and the 4 numbers on the back. Like, even though, you know, publicly people know that that's not real and that they don't need to like actually do any of that, and it does not matter, and like, you know, don't take it seriously. How come you still see it? Like, how come it's still around? And the conclusion is that there still are people that are willing to give it a try. And the fact that it's such a wild and outlandish claim that most people are not, you know, going to believe, it weeds out most people that are not going to believe it. And it instead goes for literally the craziest and dumbest people of society that still have money and are willing to give it a go. It's like, there's so many people in our population that literally, if you took like a percentage of how many people are on this planet, like billions, if you took 1% of the population of billions of people, that is still a sizable number of people. And so when you, going back to what you were saying, Mario, when you see like weird sketchy links on YouTube, most of the time people are going to ignore them or report them or get rid of them. And then there's those people that click it. And it's, you know, statistically a very small percentage of people that are going to click it, but it is still a percentage. And that still allots some degree of success by the people that are laying that out, whether they're trying to like steal information or whatever. It's still a success, even in a microscopic scale. Which is just that That is such a crazy revelation to me. That it's like, even though these people have been found out as scammers, they still fucking try. Because they're just such snakes. But you try, because it works, doesn't it? Regardless, though, don't click sussy links. Don't make the statistic go up. Children get targeted like crazy. Oh my god, children get targeted for, like, far more than just that. Children get targeted by, like, YouTubers who try to, like, sell them stupid bullshit without even, like, pretending. That's why you gotta teach your stupid kids to not click sussy links or put credit card information into literally anything. When I'm, like, signing up on a website for something that I'm, like, you know, maybe middle of the road about, like, I'm not too sure about, it's something that, like, I've never heard of, or, like, it's some company where I know a credit card is involved with the service, I am very, very careful about, like, the sign-up process. Like, I have a little burner email that I'll, like, you know, attach to something that I'm not super, you know, attached to. Not my official email, just, like, you know, some little thing on the side that if it got, like, 900 emails, I would not care. But the moment they start talking about credit card numbers, that's when I'm out. That's when I'm out. I try to get as close as possible. Just see if, like, oh, is this not, like, a paid deal or something? Can I just, like, get a program and just get on with it? But the moment they say, like, oh, trial or this or that or yada yada, then I'm just not. I'm out. Sorry. But I want to play Microsoft free, no virus. Yeah, guys, don't worry. There ain't no virus. Just click it. Just click it, god damn it. Isn't isn't Minecraft, like, isn't that free? Or is it? No, you know what? It's not. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. Yeah, it's not. And there's different versions of Minecraft as well that you need to pay separate amounts in order to play. There's, like, the, what is it called? Like, the Forge version, and then there's the Java version, which I believe the only difference between those two is the method in which they render Minecraft. Like, one is rendered through Java, which was the original way of rendering it. And then one is rendered through some, like, more modern systems that are Microsoft based. This was, you know, after Microsoft acquired Minecraft along with 900 other companies. Which is, like, that's all fine and good. Why the fuck did I have to pay for it, though? I bought Minecraft, like, in 2011 or 2012. Like, whenever version 1 came out, because I was there when the beta was out and I was playing it like crazy. When version 1 came out, I bought it for $30. I remember, because at the time I just got my very first job. And so I was like, I gotta spend my money in the right places, yeah. And yeah, I got Minecraft. I got the original fucking Minecraft. And so far, that account is still good, but I did have to go through a bunch of fucking hoops to keep that account. Let's sigh. Which I will say, it wasn't a big deal, because for a while I just, like, stopped playing Minecraft. But my friends and my partner play the shit out of Minecraft, and they have this server where everybody's in there and they're doing like fun roleplay stuff and whatever. And so I'm just like, fucking fine. They'll invite me to like little events that they do, and I'm just like, I want to hang with my friends. Okay, fine. Fine, I'll be social. Fine. By clicking the link, you'll get early screening for the Minecraft movie. I promise. Oh, please, gimme just 8 more seconds of Jack Black being Minecraft Steve. Please. Could you imagine if they didn't spoil that in the trailer, and then you could actually watch the movie and be like, ha ha ha, he's Minecraft Steve. Oh, that's funny. I feel like, you know, the initial jovial shock that one would get from that reveal is kind of ruined now. It would have been like, anyone remember Spy Kids 3? The one where they go in the video game, also known as The Best One? You remember when Elijah Wood just shows up like at the end randomly? And he's the guy? And he just shows up just to be a cameo because people definitely recognized Elijah Wood at that time because of Lord of the Rings. And then he shows up and he says, cake, and then he fucking dies. That was so funny. That's what Jack Black being Minecraft Steve could have been, but no, they spoiled it in the trailer, so I don't know, whatever. I mean, it's not like a lot of people were really actually excited for a Minecraft movie. I mean, there was probably kids. There's probably some kids that are excited for it. I won't take that away from them or, you know, diminish that excitement. You know what's truly unfortunate is I won't know the cultural vibe of stuff like the Minecraft movie until years later when these kids become adults and then they start, like, you know, integrating their nostalgia into culture, right? Like, back in the day, the shit that interested me did not interest the adults around them, and vice versa. Like, as an adult right now, I don't know what kids love. I don't know what's a kid's, like, favorite hidden gem of their childhood, and I won't know for years until, you know, they have, like, a platform to conduct themselves. Also, when they're older and wiser and can actually make sense of their own feelings. Like, right now, I have a couple of, I got some nephews in my life, and they freaking rock, and they're so cool. And I recently, when we had like family time, I got to see like what kind of TV shows they were watching. It was absolutely not what I was expecting. I mean, there is stuff like Bluey. I think most people know that Bluey's real popular. Pretty much said online he's working on a spiritual successor to Minecraft. I mean, okay. All right. I don't know if it'll be better. It's definitely not the same experience as being on a ship in Sea of Thieves, am I right? Sea of Thieves is its own, like, aesthetic and fun, you know? That first Minecraft movie trailer was rough. As soon as I heard Minecraft movie, like, I didn't need to watch a trailer. I was like, I'm not watching this. Are you kidding me? You know what? Let me scrap this hand and go in like a different direction. I just do not like how it's coming out. Spy Kids 3, where the original promotional poster was just Sylvester Stallone popping out of a screen and pointing directly at you. Yeah, because it was in 3D, man. So cool. It was funny to, you know, they did put in the effort, you know, they did really like put in the effort to try and sell that 3D stuff. It wasn't like The Hobbit where it's just like kind of incidental, or fucking Avatar where it was really incidental. It did not matter at all. They kind of sold it like it mattered, but it didn't. It really didn't. But no, in Spy Kids 3, they would have like all these little moments like, quickly put on your glasses, that way you can see the monsters. And then they would look at the screen and be like, quick, hand me the glasses. And then there would be a little text at the bottom that's like, quickly put on your glasses too. It was like weirdly interactive. It was so dorky, but I mean, Spy Kids 1 and 2 were really dorky and I loved them. Hip and cool, aren't kids nowadays saying skibbity and gyat? I have legitimately been saying gyat a lot more than I probably should. Just, I fucking love that one meme of back that gyat up for the Rizzler. Because it's so shit. It's so dumb. It just sounds so dopey. I first initially saw it in like a, what was it, oh, it was a Persona 4, like, comic. And it was, oh my god. It's just one of those things that, like, stuck in my mind really, really well. The Cosmo. Get one chance. You start eating my wires, though, I gotta kick you out. You know what, maybe I'll come back to the hand and just work on the rest of the body. This is one of those things where I'm like, I'm gonna deliberate on it for a long time. When really, the line work part is a lot more just, like, typical work. I don't want to start losing, like, production time. Marvel Rivals, yeah, that's a popular thing, isn't it? Is that one of those things where, like, it's actually good, or is it because people want an alternative to Overwatch? Got some shit in my mouth. I don't know what that was. But yeah, is Marvel Rivals actually cool, or is it kind of one of those, like, we just want to spite Overwatch because we're really sick of their shit? Either way, it is not my kind of game. Like, I enjoyed Overwatch because I enjoyed Team Fortress 2, and then, I don't know, I eventually just got bored of Overwatch. I played it a couple more times because my, one of my real good friends loves to play it, so I play it with them. But that would really just be my only incentive. I'm usually playing, like, single-player games, to be honest. Okay, so it is actually a little bit legit. Fair enough, fair enough. I mean, it's not like it's impossible for it to be actually fun. Also, yeah, Michael Bay is making a Skibbity Toilet movie. Apparently there's some really interesting, fucking, oh, buddy, baby, do you want over to the window? Yeah, there you go. Apparently there's some really interesting deep lore. I looked into Skibbity Toilet like a little bit, and I mean, quite honestly, what it reminded me of was, Anyone remember Gmod Idiot Box? That was my first thought when I saw it. Because they're using the models from Half-Life, obviously, and kind of just like making it into its own thing. It's very much a like, haha, funny meme thing. And when I think about it being turned into a movie, I'm like, this will get like some degree of popularity, but it's still a meme movie. Like, it's not gonna be like culturally relevant or anything. It's just gonna be like one great big shit post, and then we move on to like the next big thing. I think the reason stuff like the Transformers movies really like made a bunch of film critics' careers by shitting on it was because it was the rise of like YouTube like movie critics, beyond just stuff like Channel Awesome, like just anybody on YouTube that wanted to try their hand at just doing like, you know, movie reviews without making it into a whole like production. It's just them like sitting on a couch just talking about it. And there was a lot of people on the internet that fucking hated the Transformer 2 movies. And, you know, it makes sense. Those movies were dumb as hell. And I, you know, as a teenager, I really liked them. Going back to it, I'm like, yeah, this is stupid. Like, it's just, I liked it because I was a dumbass teenager. But those reviews really connected with a huge part of the Gen Z audience who grew up on the original Transformers cartoons, which are, you know, those cartoons are really janky as well. They're a lot more respectable than the Michael Bay film. The Michael Bay film is really dumb. And also there were just, it's also one of those like perfect examples of stupid idiot movie makes a bunch of money. So people that love film can also come into the discussion and talk about like, oh my God, isn't the Hollywood industry like so shit? They just make these dumbass movies and they make billions of dollars. And that's still true to this day. And that frustration is still like very real. But that's, it's stuff like that why Michael Bay making these Transformers films was like a hot issue, issue, sure, whatever. It was a hot subject to talk about. I don't know, like the way the skibbity toilet thing is happening, I get the impression that people are gonna watch it, it's gonna be like dumb and stupid, and then people are gonna just move on. It's gonna be like, hey guys, I saw the movie. It's gonna be like the Emoji Movie. Remember that little phenomenon? Where people went to it knowing it was gonna be stupid, and then they made a review and they were like, yeah, it was pretty stupid. And that was it, and then we all just like moved on. That's gonna be skibbity toilet. Because it's like, what do you expect? Do you think it's gonna be like, oh no guys, really, it's gonna be a super emotionally driven, like, intelligent film? Like, no. Not to diminish, like, those that are genuinely, like, connected and invested in, like, the whole skibbity toilet, like, YouTube thing. Because here's the deal. I watched, the stupid Mario Brothers growing up. Like, and that was like dumb live action Mario parody stuff that suddenly took a turn into like dark storytelling, or not necessarily dark, but like it became a lot more like melodramatic and like violent, and there was like fights and death and blood and stuff like that. You know, real edgelord type stuff. Another great example would be like, did anybody watch it's on the tip of my tongue. Super Mario Bros. Z. Anybody watch that? Flash show? Where it was like just an excuse for Mario characters and Sonic characters to team up and fight a bad guy. That shit was like so legit when I was a kid, and I'm like, yo, I fucking wish there was a movie of this. Holy shit. So it's like, in that respect, I can totally imagine like a kid being so excited that it's like, oh my God, they're making a movie. Like, you fucking kidding me? If I was like a kid and somehow they said, yeah, we're making a movie version of Super Mario Bros. Z, I'd be like, holy fucking shit. That rocks, yes, and like, you know, if I really think about it, it'd be kind of weird to see that in the theaters. But as a kid, I wouldn't care. I would have been like so happy and invested. So I'm sure there's going to be like a lot of happy ass kids that are going to be watching the Skibbity Toilet thing, just being like, I can't believe this became a movie. But like, you know, it'll be a memory for a generation, and then it will pass. How am I doing today, Orpho? I'm doing pretty good, honestly. My hand doesn't hurt as much as it did before. I think this brace does a pretty good job. Still love the 2007 Transformers movie. Like, the first one is all right. The second one just gives me like a headache. The third one is nothing. It's nothing. I think I've watched the third movie twice, and I forgot all of it. Gmod Idiot Box is a classic. It's gonna come out 10 years late, like the WoW movie, the Angry Birds movie, the Slender Man movie. You know what? That's true. They may just like drag it out until it's just like forgotten. It could easily be a scrapped project. YouTube short series about robot fighting monsters who are just heads in toilets is getting a fucking movie and series. Yeah. It's true. I mean, the movie industry is... It's awful. The movie industry is awful right now. And it has been for a while. Like, Red Letter Media certainly feels like they're very, very down on everything. But I absolutely agree that, like, the movie industry has taken a huge dive. And I think a lot of people forget that, like, going to the movie theater was, like, an iconic event in American history. Like, that was, and I mean that, like, legitimately, like, there was a time, and I briefly remember it, and people that are, like, close to my age probably remember this as well, but, like, there was a time where it's like, guys, let's go to the movie theater, and it's like, oh, great, you get all, like, dressed up and shit, like, you do it on, like, a Friday or a Saturday, you know, where, like, everybody has the evening off. It becomes, like, a fun little event to go to. There's, like, going to the movies now, it's like, well, you can watch all of your favorite movies, like, at your home. Why wouldn't you do that? And that gets rid of the movie watching experience. Nowadays, the true movie watching experience is relegated to, like, the nerds of society, the nerdy people that really love film and want to just, like, genuinely experience something unique, you know. And that's, that, you know, that sounds very pejorative, the way that I put it. But those sort of experiences are much more like specialty. You need to, like, go to movie watching events these days. It is not a relevant part of culture like it used to be. I went to the movie theater not too long ago to see that honestly really good Sonic 3 movie. And I don't know, watching it in the theater wasn't any better than if we were to watch it at home. Honestly, if I were to watch it at home, I could have, like, laughed a lot more and, like, made a little more, like, commentary. But the in theater movie experience, I don't know. It's just not the thing. It's just not the same. And you know what? You know what it's been replaced by? It's been replaced by shit like YouTube. It's been replaced by things like YouTube shorts of Skibbity Toilet. And it's Hollywood trying to keep up with the times by literally taking those properties and throwing some director at it, some, like, well-known director, in order to make something financially successful, hopefully. I don't know. Here's the deal, though. Like, it sounds very, like, doomerist and, like, really sad to just be like, oh man, the film industry is dying. Woo woo, big sad, cry cry. But it's like, that doesn't mean that there's, like, no good movies anymore. I always hate when people say that. That it's like, oh my god, there's no good new movies anymore. The 1980s was the last time that any good movie ever came out. It's like, that's definitely not true. Shut up. No, stop it. I hate you. And that's certainly not what I'm saying either. I'm saying that the movie theater experience is really taking a dive as of late. And the quality of going to a movie theater is just not as special as it used to be. And I think, like, a lot of people thought that movie theaters were going to go out of style around, like, COVID times. That definitely didn't happen. But, and I don't know if we're going to, like, suddenly get rid of movie theaters. I don't see that happening. But I definitely think they've become less popular over the years. The only reason they exist at all is because some movies are out in theater first before they go digital. So it's like, if you want to see a movie real soon and not have to wait, like, I don't know, an entire month, then you go to the theater, you know? It's more obligation, and it's not, like, fun like it used to be. I mean, and I don't speak for everyone. I'm sure, like, going to the theater can be very fun if you're already out and about. But it's not nearly as culturally relevant as it used to be. And, you know, times change. Everything changes. And certain things become, like, more relevant than others. You know what else is really fun? Going to a friend's house and, like, just making a big-ass long playlist of really good YouTube videos. Or just, like, getting in a call with friends and doing, like, a little watch party. I have a watch party that I'm going to be doing later today, actually. And that shit rocks. You couldn't have done that during the age of going to the movie theater. You'd have to, like, organize everybody. I love the internet, and I love where, like, media is right now, genuinely, because there's just so many, like, great options out there. I'm not about to lament the, you know, the rise of technology, because this particular rise is not in favor of fucking corpos. It's in favor of the people. And I love that. And I think, like, a lot of people love that, you know? Basically, in short, I'm not watching Skibbity Toilet the movie, but maybe I'll go and look up those YouTube videos. Is that motherfucker getting paid? That just occurred to me. Is that motherfucker getting paid? The guy that made Skibbity Toilet? Is he getting any money out of this? Because it just occurred to me. Like, this is fucking Michael Bay and, like, the Hollywood, like, corpo groups that are... How much money is that poor guy getting? Oh, man. Also, is Valve getting any of that money? Oh, my God. Oh, I hate business. Next Spider-Man animated coming in. Ooh. I missed a lot of your comments. Sorry. I went off on, like, a huge tangent there. I'm just baffled how, yeah, we were hoping the Emoji Movie was going to be their Lego movie. I know what you mean. Yeah, I kind of got that vibe as well. The Lego Movie was an actual movie, though. Like, it had, like, a genuine story and everything. Emoji Movie, I don't know. I've heard of people theorizing how they could have made the Emoji Movie into something a little more, like, substantial. But yeah, it didn't come out that way, like, at all. Tony is incompetent. Yeah. Next Spider-Man animated coming in 2027. Do you mean the Spider-Verse movies? 2027, really? Okie doke. You do go to the cinema still? Hey, right on. I mean, I know some people that, like, work at cinemas, so no shade towards them, no shade towards the employees. This is more of a, like, existential thing I'm talking about. I don't know if this is the case for everyone else, but the fact that when going to the cinema more recently, there's way less people in seats, which further takes away the event experience. Yeah. See, it's like it's not as big of a deal, you know? The last time I was in, like, a movie theater that was packed, it was like a full house, was Avengers Endgame. And I actually, you know, that was kind of a fun experience because everybody was, like, so hyped for it. They're like, oh my God, I love the Avengers. I didn't see a lot of the Avengers movies. And Endgame, like, it was fine. I knew the general plot of Infinity War. So going into it, I was like, I know what to expect. I know. People spoiled the hell out of that movie for me. So I know. Spider-Man didn't feel so good. He's like, oh, Mr. Stark, my tummy feel funny. And then he, like, you know, expanded. It was a good scene. A lot of people cried watching it. But that theater experience was honestly, like, really nice. I remember there was this, like, Black Panther was not really a character in Endgame. For like whatever reason, I guess they wanted to stick with the original Avengers from the first movie. But he did have like a cameo along with some of the other cast, like right at the end. And as soon as he showed up, as soon as Black Panther showed up on screen, I heard one guy in the cinema just go, "Yeah!" Which was so sweet. I love that. That was a very vocal fan that loved Black Panther. I have yet to see that movie, Black Panther. I've yet to see like a lot of Avengers films. I don't know. I was not nearly as invested in keeping up with all the films after a certain point. I was keeping up with the Iron Man movies. They only made 3. And I kept up with the Thor movies. But I never watched the, what was it? The most like recent Thor movie. I heard it wasn't very good, so I'm not like going back to check on it. Anyways. Well, one of my favorite movies of all time is getting a remake soon. I'm not happy about it. They're remaking American Psycho? Okay. That original movie was pretty damn good. It's a good thing that's dying from the ashes of a new movie business model will rise with lower budgets and lower ticket price. I like the way you think. I mean, I don't know. I like the way we know movie theaters and the movie theater experience now. I think it's like too different that we're just gonna get like something completely different, right? Now, lower ticket prices and like lower budgets, I think that kind of stuff will happen with like smaller industries, like what I mentioned before, these like specialty theaters that show like specialty movies and do like events and stuff. Those types of people, I think, could justify lower ticket prices because they're like smaller businesses. They aren't as like expanded out like big budget Hollywood stuff, like what's it called, Lowe's Theater and stuff like that. The types of theaters that are like all over the country. Those people have to like answer to Hollywood, who ask for, you know, big money, and therefore ticket prices go up, is my game theory. I really don't know, but that seems that makes the most sense to me. But these like smaller specialty theaters that are doing like events or whatever, I could see them justifying lower ticket prices. And yo, if that's the case, hey, I'm all for it. Well, I a few years ago went to this small theater venue in it wasn't downtown Seattle, it was somewhere in Seattle. Seattle's a big place. And we watched fucking Doctor Strangelove on 8mm film, and that was fun. That was a goofy little experience. It was like this tiny little room, just a few like seats here and there. The place was like relatively packed though. And the people that came there, like, genuinely just loved film. And they were just like, oh my god, this like freaking rocks, I love this movie. I remembered, I think, like, a father went with his son as well. I don't know how well, like, the son enjoyed it. It's not like I was paying close attention to these people. But I thought that was cute. It was like, you know, trying to share something, like, meaningful with their child. You know, all that wholesome shit. I still remember when the first trailer of the Lego movie came out and people thought it was going to be terrible. That's the thing, yeah. That Lego movie really exceeded people's expectations, which is great. You know, I love when a movie exceeds people's expectations. People really, really, really desperately wanted the Sonic movies to be terrible. People were like so ready for them to be terrible. And then when they weren't outwardly terrible, people got more angry. And that was the point where, for me, I was just like, shut the fuck up. No. When the movies weren't like absolutely awful and like dumbass shit posters online were like, no, I want it to be really, really bad so I can make fun of it. That was the point where I just like stopped. I got out of the hate train, as it were. Because those initial photos of Sonic were pretty bad. The initial design of Sonic looked goddamn terrible. But what that led to was a public outcry to do better, Hollywood, and so they brought in, like, people that could actually design Sonic properly. And guess what? They did a good job. And therefore they could just focus on making the movie good because they actually made Sonic good. And then, meanwhile, the movie comes out, and a general audience does really like it. It's certainly, like, got its cringe moments and its hype moments. But overall, I love the Sonic movies. And just what I hate is the outcry of people that are all like, why couldn't this have been, like, just a huge shitpost movie? And it's like, well, I'll tell you why. It's because shitpost movies are nothing. They are absolutely nothing. It's what I was saying earlier about Skibbity Toilet. It's here and then it's gone. Morbius was here and then it was gone. And then Hollywood tried to capitalize on the hype train of like, oh guys, it's a big meme, bring it back into theaters, let's like watch it again. And then yeah, shit didn't work because the meme was dead. A meme is just a fucking like flower in the wind. It's here and then it's gone, you know? Whereas, like, the Sonic movies, as they have been, they're not perfect. They're the furthest thing from perfect, certainly. But I think that they've genuinely, like, put a lot of love, care, and effort into making those movies pretty memorable, pretty fun and memorable. I had a lot of fun watching them. That latest one, oh my god, I fucking love that shit. This isn't really a spoiler to say, but they're, like, Sonic fights Shadow pretty early in the movie, and oh my god, that shit rocked. That was awesome. It reminded me of the kind of hype that I got from watching the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. Avengers Endgame still holds the record for the amount of times I've seen a movie in cinema. Ooh, oh my. Now, Vic, did you watch it that many times in theaters because different groups of people wanted to watch it in theaters and you were like, hey, I wanna be a part of it too? Or did you publicly and consciously, rather, not, of course it's publicly, did you consciously buy a ticket for yourself and go to Endgame 4 times? Or was it that you were in different groups that were all going to see it? Oh, the Knuckles show was terrible. Yeah, no. Just because I defend the movie does not mean I defend the show. No, that show was so goddamn stupid. I watched like the first episode with my roommate and we were like, what the shit is this? This is awful. You know why it's awful? Knuckles isn't in the fucking show. Why wasn't Knuckles in his own show? It's called the Knuckles Show. Oh my god, I hated that one guy. I don't even remember his name. He's so like consistently in the movies. I hate that guy. God. I'm not even like I'm not about to take the piss or the like acting or diss the acting of whatever guy was playing that character. It's the writing. Like that character was designed to be annoying the way Claptrap was designed to be annoying. Like there was no helping it. There was no saving it. That's just a bad character. Whoever wrote it, no, naughty, bad. And then he got a spin-off because only bad characters get spin-offs. Damn, I'm really like laying into this guy. I'll not that he doesn't deserve it. That show like was terrible, the Knuckles show. Public outcry led to $1 billion movie franchise. That's right. Yeah, they made bank off those movies, and they're still gonna make them. They're like Jim Carrey is fucking retired, and now they're making another one, I guess. Nintendo drones with got him. When Sonic 3 is critically acclaimed, I made more money than the Super Mario Brothers movie. Really? Milos. Oh my god, Milo, that is so fucking vicious. Our games are still better. I mean, the Mario games are better, but like the movies are way better. Memes come and go and need to die more quickly, if you ask me. Funny story about memes that need to die. Borderlands 4 reportedly went through a rewrite because it feels like it did. because the lead on it said the humor was really shit. One joke pitched was a gun called the Hawk 2A, and that was a reference to the Hawk 2A girl. The lead writer for Borderlands said he wanted to shove his fist in a sink grinder. You know, good. Have some standards. Like, don't just put memes in. That's so stupid. First time I watched Endgame was with your dad. Then it was by yourself. Third time, you and some friends. Fourth time, your dad. That's so wholesome. I love that, Vic. That's so wholesome. I love that. You really made going to the theater into an event. Thinking it was going to be terrible. Don't make the third movie like this. Yeah, no, Sonic 3 was fantastic. Sonic 3 is the best of all the Sonic movies, honestly. It's the one that the most felt like real Sonic adventure, you know? And there's certainly stuff about it. I don't want to do spoilers because I do recommend the film to anybody that's interested. But there are certain like things that they adapted from like the video games, namely Sonic Adventure 2, which I think a lot of people saw coming. I mean, the logo for the movie is also the logo for Sonic Adventure 2. So they adapted a lot from that game, and some of it, they played it more for laughs than others. And I don't know, I get sort of like mixed feelings from that because I just think of my childhood self, the childhood self that really desperately wanted like some anime adaptation or movie based on Sonic Adventure 2. And just like never getting it and thinking like, oh my God, someday they gotta like make this into a movie. And thinking about the most hype moments from Sonic Adventure 2 and just imagining like, oh man, can you imagine like how this is gonna look when they like put it in theaters? And seeing it as it is now, it's still pretty hype, but there is a lot. The aesthetic of those Sonic movies is more jokey than it is like serious. And, you know, at that point, I just need to throw up my arms and be like, yeah, well, that's the aesthetic they're going for, you know? They picked a vibe for the movies, and that is the vibe, and they stuck to it. It's kind of like, what it reminds me of is Alex Hirsch talking about making Gravity Falls, and how fans of the series, as the more dramatic stuff started happening in the story, fans of the series actually kind of complained toward him. There wasn't like a huge outcry, like people still really love that show, but there were people that wanted like even more like dark drama and for things to like take an even more like grim turn in the story. And I think it was like in an interview talked about this and basically just said like the people watching this show do not understand like the aesthetic of the show, pretty much. Like, I have a very distinct vibe and tone and sense of humor that I'm putting into Gravity Falls. So making it all melodramatic would just destroy that. It would feel so wrong. And to those that actually understand the aesthetic and the vibe, they would be so confused and so thrown off. It would just ruin the art. So no. And that's fair. That's fair. You pick a tone, you stick to it. Your tone just can't be like all over the place for the sake of drama, you know? For the sake of adding like excess drama, rather. He's open to being in the fourth movie. That's okay. That Borderlands writer sounds like me hawk right back at to you. I didn't even realize that lady got like quote unquote famous from that. My roommate showed me a clip and I was like, oh, this seems okay, like whatever. I was just like, this seems like a video on the internet that like exists. And I remembered they were really like, oh my God, this is so stupid. People are just like so like dumb and they make like anything into a meme. And I didn't treat it like very seriously at the time. I was like, I don't know. It's just like, it's just a clip, like, you know, whatever. I didn't realize the situation. Like, that lady tried to sell Bitcoin of herself. Like the Haktua fucking Bitcoin thing. And then it was successful for like 1 second, and then it wasn't. But I think she still got away with like some money off of that. I don't know. That aspect of the story is a little unclear to me. But yeah, there was actually like a little more to that. There was like a whole little like fan base of the Haktua lady. It's probably because she's a girl, and she said Haktua, which means spitting on a penis, which makes people horny. So, some people. Other people might be like, hey, stop. Don't do that. Bitch embroiled in a bitch embroiled in a lawsuit. Fucking vicious. Oh my gosh. She's in a lawsuit then, huh? I thought that she just like she just pocketed the money and left. Interesting. I mean, hey, look, it's a scam. Like, what? Am I about to, like, defend someone who just, like, is scamming people with crypto? No. It's not any different than anybody else that tries to scam you.
I like the stuff involved with Shadow's backstory with Marie was treated seriously in the movie.
Yes! Yes! See, that's one aspect that I will say needs to be treated seriously. Shadow's whole backstory needs to be dramatic. You know, and to be fair, the movies, the Sonic movies did that, like, over and over, with other stuff, too. For some reason, Tails doesn't really have much of a backstory, honestly, which is a little unfortunate, a little unfair. I hope that Tails gets a little more development in the later movies, but, yeah, like, Sonic's backstory actually had a little bit of, like, seriousness and drama to it and whatnot. He had a mommy. He loved his mommy. And that was treated fairly well, I'd say. So the movie already established that it's willing to do a little bit of, like, drama here and there. It's not just one great big goof fest.
But, hold on a sec. Someone's in my house. Good.
Hello. Yeah, a boyfriend came home, so wanted to say hello. He's taking a nappy poo now. Hell yeah. I also had a fistful of popcorn. So now my teeth are all like, no, stop it, stop, no, stop! These motherfuckers have played Happy Birthday like, I think 3 times now. What other movies are out right now? There's the Minecraft movie. Somebody mentioned the Slender Man movie, and I'm like, man, I almost forgot that was a thing. Just watch Marble Hornets, honestly. Like, they did a pretty good job with the, like, Slender Man stuff, to my memory. Vic, you no. Vic, you're banned. Guys, mods that I don't have. Can you ban Vic? He said penis. Nosferatu is that? Oh, yeah. There's a biopic on Bob Dylan. That's right. I heard about that. Yeah. How about that? Wasn't there a, I think this was a while ago. Wasn't there a biopic on Bob Marley? And, like, it came out several years ago, I'm pretty sure. I remember there was, like, a lady that I just ended up talking to at the time, who was just telling me, like, at the time, like, it had just come out, and she was like, I just saw it, and man, this, like, fucking rocks. And I really loved her enthusiasm about it. I listened to, like, a little bit of Bob Marley music, and I like the guy. A very talented man. But I never would have thought to watch a biopic on him. Kind of sounds interesting, though. For it were any good. Slender Man movie fucking sucks. Yeah, I saw quite a few reviews about it, and my god. It's such a nothing movie. Like, this, it's so just whatever. It doesn't tap into the Slender Man potential at all, and quite honestly, like, the Slender Man vibes were kind of ruined when I think around the time that movie it came out, it was not too long after that it was not too long before, excuse me, that the God, I'm getting all tongue-tied. It was not too long before that they had that girl that used Slender Man as an excuse to actually attempt to murder someone. Like, I don't know the full story, and it's honestly, like, horrifying, and I hate it, like, every time I think about it, because I'm just like, my God, that is just, like, so frightening. But there was this, there was these, like, two girls, and one was, like, less enthused about it than the other. There was definitely, like, one girl who was more like the mastermind, as I understand it, and they coerced a third girl to go into the woods with them, and then they tried to, like, literally stab that girl to death. Like, genuinely, like, they tried to bring this girl into the woods. It was either stabbing or they tried to murder a girl, which was crazy. And the lead girl whose main idea it was, had said that she was inspired, or rather she wanted to be with Slender Man. Because apparently that's a part of the deep lore. I don't remember that being in the lore. That might have been a Marble Hornets thing or whatever. But yeah, the idea was they were going to murder someone so that she could be in Slender Man's house, pretty much. Which, by the way, that aspect of Slender Man is so fucking lame. Like, no. I remember some other people coming up with the more, like, low-key explanations for what Slender Man does. One that I really loved was that Slender Man basically turns you into one of the evergreen trees in the forest that he lives in. Because one of the fun things about Slender Man is that he blends into the environment. So the idea of him, like, turning people just into, like, a bunch of fucking trees kind of makes sense. It's almost like he made the forest in a way. It's fun. It's kind of like something out of, like, the Feywild or whatever. Actually, you know what it reminds me of is the Beast in Over the Garden Wall. Though, that being said, Slender Man, as a character, did come first, so, you know. There was that explanation. There was also one I saw consistently that when he finds you, he grabs you and stabs your body on top of one of the trees. That's another thing. It's better than teleporting you to another world. Like, it's just not a very scary idea. Only problem is Timothy Chalamet is playing Bob Dylan. I think Timothy Chalamet is hideously overrated. I haven't seen enough of Tim Cham's movies. I have heard varying degrees of quality in regards to him. Yeah, the controversy with the girl had delayed the film. I think I remember that too. So, yeah, there was a lot working against it, but honestly, you didn't need to make a Slender Man movie. It's not that cool. I think that's how the movie ended. The girls get turned into trees. What, is that how the movie ends? That can't be. That can't be right. I can't remember when I saw it like 6 months ago. Really? If that's what they did, that's kind of interesting. I would love that. You know what? That would actually make the movie good. I would change my mind. Hang on. There we go. Oh, no. Say what you will, though, about Tim Cham. He's in a lot of movies. He's been busy. You know what? That makes me think. That puts a little thought in my head. How did everyone feel about Dune? I feel like I maybe brought this up on a stream before, but I'm just gonna rehash it anyways. Anybody here enjoy Dune? That's how the movie ended, and that's one of the things I remember. It was such a boring movie. That is how it ended. They got turned into trees. Okay, cool. Good. Or wait. Yeah. Turned into trees. Because I remembered I said two things. One was turned into trees. One was impaled on a tree. Yeah, just out of the Slender Man, like, mythos, that seems to be the most interesting. Especially because he, like, takes children, you know? Like, it's such a scary thought of, like, a bunch of police and like parents searching the woods for like their missing child, and the child is like right there as a tree, just like frozen in horror. Ugh. I love that. I love that as a horror concept. That's cool. So you know what? As promised, I changed my mind. Slender Man movie good, even? It's a hidden gem. Servants of the environment, so Slender Man is an environmentalist confirmed. You know what? Real. Also, you loved it, Milo. Okay. Okay. That one made a big splash with people. I remember that first movie was pretty rocky for some. Like, I think for a lot of people, they were very confused, mostly because it was just called Dune. I don't believe it was called Dune Part 2 or Part 1 or anything like that. It was just called Dune. And then the movie ended what felt like kind of prematurely. So that first initial movie made a lot of people feel like, oh, wait, this story is like incomplete. Like, I don't even know how to think about this. But the second movie, I think, had a lot more like substantial like drama to it. So people watched the first, people watched the second, and it felt a lot more like a complete narrative, even though it's still not done. It's still not done. I don't know how far they're going to go with the Dune story. The story itself is like amazingly long, and quite honestly, if you're familiar with the novels at all, they really jump the shark the longer the story goes on. I think fans of the book have like a really consistent cutoff point where they're like, if you just stop here, it's perfect. Like, the story will be totally complete. Oh, really? Oh, my. Yeah, I did really like the music. My controversial opinion, though, again, I think I brought this up before, though, is I'm really not a fan of the movies at all. And I will just explain why. I just don't think I'm a fan of Dune as a story. I remember sitting down and going through the audiobook of Dune and kind of just feeling really disinterested in the drama. A lot of it is like a political drama, and the political drama makes a lot of reference to like real world stuff. It's a very intelligent story that's got a lot to say about society. It is a lovely collection of books, and it's definitely worth reading. It makes a lot of sense why it became so relevant in pop culture, why people like love it and respect it so much, because there is a lot of like there's a lot to appreciate, both artistically and just like culturally, in the Dune books. And I fucking fell asleep in the second movie because I was just so uninvested in all of it. I don't know. It's just, I just don't have the brain for it. I don't know. I feel almost ashamed about it that I couldn't pay attention while watching the movie. I came out of the theater and my roommate was like telling me just how much they loved it, and I was just, I let them speak the whole time because I was like, yeah, I don't remember most of it. But hey, what are you gonna do, you know? If something doesn't personally connect with you, then that's, you know, that's that. I got a friend who's a lot more critical of it. She's just like, oh man, the movie's fucking terrible. I hate Timothy Tommy Tallarico and all that shit. And I don't know. I'm not about to like poop my pants over how much I'm not interested in Dune, but I certainly was very, very uninterested in it. Still, I hope that they continue to make movies and continue to make money, because honestly, like, the only other Dune property out there is the one from the 1980s, which is It's mighty interesting. My brother really likes the current Dune movies, but he still really likes the Dune movie by what's his name? David Lynch. The David Lynch Dune movie. That one's like super duper weird, and it's not for a general audience at all, much like a lot of David Lynch stuff. That being said, though, certainly worth a watch. There's a lot of like stuff in there that's just like, what the fuck is all this? Super interesting. And it has a narrative. It has a beginning, middle, and end, which is something that our current Dune movies do not have. I don't know. I still recommend the David Lynch one. It's weird. It's weird and it's enjoyable. Slenderman, the new chairman of Just Stop Oil. Out of the way, Freddy Fazbear. Enjoy Dune more. Woo. How long have I been streaming? Hour and a half? Epic. Getting there, getting to the end. Just got one lady left. You know, this whole stream, it's been a real, like, movie kind of stream. I find it so weird how, like, how my interests have evolved over time. Like, I used to think that I was just gonna make movies, right? I even, like, went to college, community college first, with the initial goal of learning about film. Because, you know, I was making YouTube videos at the time. And I figured, like, yeah, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to, like, get an education in film. I'm going to be smarter for it. I'm going to apply my, like, film knowledge toward my YouTube career. And while that didn't necessarily work out, I don't regret it at all. Because, my God, I did apply my film making knowledge. I learned a lot more about writing scripts. I learned a lot more about like cinematography. I learned a lot more about organizing myself creatively, which was probably the most important thing. Yeah, I do actually value my college education pretty highly. I will say, though, there's always a little bit of regret to it, though. Because I made a choice when I was going to community college. My YouTube career was kind of on the rise, as you may remember. And I was still going to college at the time. And I didn't have a lot of time to work on college and YouTube. Like, you may remember that there was, like, lots of moments where I was not making YouTube content, huge droughts in my videos, and that's because I was still finishing college. And I distinctly remember there was a time where I thought to myself, I'm like, Hayden, you could drop out of school right now, and you could do what lots of people do, which is, like, go all in, dedicate yourself to making YouTube videos. Work with the algorithm, work with like the community. Just like adapt, learn, become a YouTuber. Or you could finish college. And I chose to finish college. And here I am. Not nearly the success that I hoped I could be. And even now, I'm happy with where I am. And I love my partner and I love where I'm at. And my life right now is honestly going pretty well. So I don't know if I would change it. But I don't know. There's always that regret that sits with me. And I think it'll sit with me for the rest of my life. You know, that's okay. We all have regret. Speaking to David Lynch, I watched Blue Velvet. Oh God, why'd you watch that film? It's great, but kind of weird. Yeah, that half the cast is from Twin Peaks. Oh, yeah, that's the only weird thing. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, you will see directors all the time working with like the same actors. I think they build up like a repertoire in certain movies that they just think to themselves like, oh, next movie I'm making, I know exactly who to call, you know, because like they're already friends. I think who comes to mind is Samuel L. Jackson and Quentin Tarantino. They're like very obviously friends, and Quentin constantly brings in Sam Jackson just to like do movies. Same thing with Spike Lee and Sam Jackson. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson, he certainly seems like he'd be a fun guy to hang out with. Certainly wouldn't be my kind of guy to hang out with, but he seems like, you know, relatively friendly. He's got a fun demeanor about him. I like that one interview where he tried to make a guy say the N-word. That's pretty funny. That's a pretty funny time. That poor interviewer the whole time was just like... Next Phoenix Wright video is coming soon. Tim Burton and Johnny Depp? Yup. No, but it's definitely in the realm of possibility of me doing like a full stream where I play through the Phoenix Wright games. In fact, I think I've even like said that I want to do that at some point. I'm on the PS2 kick right now though, but I have the full Phoenix Wright series saved on my Steam. So when the time comes, I can go and do it. You got a tiny ember in your eye? Wait, what does that mean, Vic? Like, you mean an ember from fire? Like, what's the story there?
Basically got fire in the eye. Okay. Okay.
Are you okay? I guess, you know, you're here to tell the tale, so it couldn't have been too bad. Did you by chance, you know, I guess if you're uncomfortable talking about it any further, fair enough. All I'm wondering is,
Fire in the eye, sure. Number one, how's your eye doing? Number two, did it take your eyelashes?
because I've definitely heard of people in like fires that got like 3rd-degree burns and it like burned off their eyebrows. But I've always wondered about the eyelashes. I've never heard of that happening.
I have a fever, and the only prescription I need to cure it is more cowbell.
Fucking cunt. What was with that bit? Like, I do get it. I do get it. I kind of get it. It entirely has to do with, just Christopher Walken being fucking weird when he acts. Christopher Walken has been in, like, normal movies. I feel like some people forget that. Like, Christopher Walken is a legitimate actor that's been in actual serious dramas. But most people know him just because he's super goddamn weird for some reason. Does anyone remember Christopher Walken in the hit video game Reaper? Which was a PC adventure game that did a futuristic take on Jack the Ripper. Christopher Walken plays a weird detective that may or may not be Jack the Ripper. You don't know. It's a murder mystery. He does if you can believe it, a really weird performance as an insane cop. But, I mean, just like most of Christopher Walken's performances, it's weird, but it's very entertaining. I wouldn't want anybody else in the role. You know what's crazy about that game, though, if anyone actually is familiar with Ripper, that game is honestly kind of, like, got some really fun writing. Like, genuinely, the story itself, I'm fine with. I think it's, like, wacky and wild and, like, just such a funny concept. And it's not like they play it exclusively for laughs. It's more like wacky and wild, let's say. There's a lot of like gruesome death in there. But it's the kind of like schlocky storytelling that was just so fun with point-and-click adventure games. I think what really killed it, and why people probably don't talk about it too much, was the puzzles just fucking sucked. The puzzles were so damn lame. A lot of the time, it didn't make, like, any sense at all. My best experience of The Ripper, because I did try and play it a few times, my best experience, though, was just Spoony One's playthrough and commentary on it. He was such a funny guy, and to me, his playthrough of Ripper was iconic. I loved it so, so much. I still think about it to this day. Ay, ay, ay. We had the fire in the garden going. There's a big gust of wind. Ugh. As far as we can tell, there's no major damage. The pain is going down, but Christ alive, it. Didn't get the lashes, though. God, right on the eye. Ah. I mean, an eyeball is surprisingly resilient, unless you pop it. But yeah, just a slight burn on it. I guess that wouldn't make you blind. This guy is unfucking believable. Yeah, he was so fun. This guy is unbelievable. No, I don't like where that's placed. I'm just thinking of Christopher Walken quotes from Reaper now. There's like a bit where he's just like reading a book, and you can just continue to click on him in the game just to bother him. And he says a bunch of different like lines, but my favorite one is you go up to him, he's reading, he like throws the book down all mad, and he's like, "What do I gotta do? Write fuck off in Braille on your forehead? Get out of here." Oh my god. So dumb. Write fuck off in Braille on your forehead? Get out of here. Jeez. Sorry to hear, Vic. That sounds like just awful. Hopefully you recover all right. I've had like pain on my eye before, but a lot of the time, it's a very minor thing. Something gets like, stuck on my eye, or like my contacts give me trouble very consistently. Having like basically a mini fireball hit me in the eye, I can't even imagine. So yeah, no, I feel like you're perfectly justified in saying is the worst pain of your life. That makes perfect sense. I feel like the head's like just a little too small. Okay. Oh, well, the hand's still not done. Oh, no. Oh, you're out of here? Fantastic. I am just about done here myself. I will get to the back half of this page later in the day, but I don't think I'll be streaming that. So, yeah. Oh, and I gotta get this fucking hand drawn. I can do that off screen, off camera, because I want to, like, rest my arm for a sec. Also, I need lunch. I've completely skipped lunch. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate you. Love you. I think this was a good stream. I think later today, unless I change my mind, but I think later today I'm going to maybe stream a little bit of like video games. Although I may just relegate that to tomorrow, actually. Yeah, because come to think of it, I have a meeting, as it were. I said earlier I was doing like a watch party thing, and that's at yeah, that's pretty close to now. Yeah, so I won't be able to, but I plan on gaming tomorrow, so hold me to it. Later, everybody. Take care. Wow.
looking good.